All right, Brad, and talk to us a little bit about punitive damages, about drunk drivers and or the bars who serve drunk drivers.
Well, that's one of the things to remember. Somebody gets hurt, they come into our office, they say the other side was drunk, so I should be able to collect money. As I stated earlier, that's not necessarily true. You have to prove they were negligent. Then you say, well, the insurance company should pay me more because that person was drunk. The insurance company normally will not do that. As a matter of fact, they'll make it clear to you. We don't pay because that person was drunk. We pay based on their negligence and on your injuries. If you want money based on that person being drunk, then you have to get what's called punitive damages. And punitive damages are not covered by insurance companies. They will not pay those damages. So you have to decide at that point whether you're going to go after the person, whether they have any assets. You can't get punitive damages on your underinsured motorists or your uninsured motorists. You may, under certain circumstances, be able to get punitive damages from the bar that served this person. In our previous example, if it's been 2 hours since that person was served and they're at a .31, chances are they're as high as a .4 when they walked out of that bar. That's terrible. That's a willful and wanton or a reckless disregard for the rights of the public to serve somebody that degree of alcohol and have them get out and go get in their car. You may also have that available if they've been serving minors or if a liquor store has been giving alcohol to minors and these minors are getting drunk and going out and hurting the public or getting drunk and hurting themselves. That becomes a punitive situation where, as a society, we want to punish or hold that person or that entity out as an example so they won't do it again, and others in a similar situation, other bars look and go, we don't want to be serving somebody or making them drunk or over-serving them and letting them go out and get in their cars. Remember, the bartender always has the option to pick up those keys and say, you're not going anywhere, we're calling you a cab, and not letting them drive.
There's a lot of information to retrieve, a lot of information to assemble, and sometimes a very short time frame within which to do it.
If you've got drunk driving involved in your accident where you've been hurt or where a loved one has been hurt or somebody's been killed, it's vital you contact an attorney somewhere, that you get information, that you learn about what's going on. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers is a very good resource, but it's a resource that you need to couple with people who are going to make sure that your claims are preserved and all of them are preserved. Remember what I said, you've only got 1 year to file that lawsuit against the entity or persons who supplied the alcohol. And sometimes criminal cases go on for more than a year. And you're left trying so many different ways to learn where that alcohol was served, who served the alcohol, and a lot of times you're going to have to file a lawsuit to preserve your rights without knowing the exact name of the entity.
And if an injured person hires an attorney, sometimes that attorney can work with the district attorney, the prosecuting attorney, to try to get information.
Well, you've got the prosecuting attorney, you've got the defense attorney, and sometimes the defense attorney will help you, sometimes they won't. It's important that you make sure that if they refuse to cooperate and tell you this kind of information, you show up at the criminal hearings, you show up at the sentencing hearings. So many times in sentencing hearings, the drunk driver is there with their lawyer, and the lawyer's saying, our drunk driver is so sorry. Our drunk driver would do anything to take it back. Our drunk driver will never do this again. Don't put our drunk driver in jail. Our drunk driver is doing everything they can to help the injured person. They would gladly trade places with the injured person. And then you stand up and say, if that's so, why won't the drunk driver give us the basic information? Now, they've already pled. They've already said they were guilty. This is sentencing. Why won't they give us the basic information of where they were driving?
Are you saying
where they were getting drunk?
Are you saying you, representing an injured person, might go to the criminal hearing to see if you can get information?
I do all the time.
And you did last Friday, didn't you?
I did. I went to Greeley last Friday. I go to different places and I talk to the defense attorneys. I always make sure the restitution is submitted because the drunk driver is responsible for restitution. The judge can't complete the sentencing until restitution is addressed. So you have to make sure you get that involved with the judge. You stand up in front of the judge and you tell the judge, some of this restitution could be addressed if we just knew where they were drinking. In this case, it was a minor who was very, very drunk at the time of the accident. Minor won't say where he got the alcohol, nor will he say who served it. He won't explain how he got drunk, but yet He's standing in front of the judge saying, "Judge, I'm so sorry. I want to straighten out my life. I want to go to school and I want to get an education now because I dropped out of high school." Well, if he's so sorry, he'd be doing what's necessary to try to help the injured person.
And you've helped a lot of injured victims just like that, haven't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a requirement. If you don't get involved in the criminal case, the criminal sentencing, the criminal restitution, you're not doing your job. If you don't get involved in finding out where the alcohol was served and what condition that person was when they got their last drink, you're not doing your job. That's the attorney's basic minimum requirements in his job in representing a person who's been injured by a drunk driver.